Okay, Sprinter how-to video. First, make sure the key's in the on position, and once those lights go off, you can crank it. Do that one more time. Key's in the on position, lights go off, you can crank it. Hey, by the way, how do you fill up the gas tank? Guess what? It's right here behind us, inside the door. Fuel only. Diesel fuel only. Interesting on the door locks. You hit the button right here. If you see something blinking, that means the door is open. Yep, that door is open right there. So when you hit the up button, sometimes you'll see that go back in. Hit it again, it'll unlock. Locked, unlocked. If for some reason you cannot lock the car, it means that one of the doors is open, probably the very back. You need to shut it harder. Okay, going to the back here. Air conditioner. Must have this plugged into the, what they call shore power. If you do, if you're plugged into the power outside, there's your cool settings, your high cool, and then I'm going to take it back to off. There's your hot cool setting. If you want to use the heater, it's right there. Works like a normal heater. Turn it on to the point you want, and then to turn it off, you go back and then listen for the click. Now it's off. Up here is carbon monoxide sensor. Turn it on, you see the light blink. Down here is the propane sensor. Same thing. Turn it on and off right there. I leave them on. There is other switches here that you should not have to worry about. That's your control panel and another switch which is in the on position, which is actually to make sure propane flows. Don't touch those, they're all fine. Speaking of switches, we're gonna go back here to the back where the sink is. There's a couple of switches underneath here. This guy is your hot water heater. Turn it on, takes about an hour for it to heat up. You can leave it on the whole time. Right beside it, water pump. The water pump you can leave on the whole time too. Every once in a while it makes a little sound, so sometimes I turn it off, but it doesn't really use much power. Beside it, exterior light for outside. I usually don't use that. Water works like normal. Cold side, hot side. Good place to wash your hair. Here's your 2-burner stove. To use it, works just like a normal stove. Turn it on right here. In the drawer, I keep the lighter, light it up, it's good to go. Works fine with both of those. Hey, what about this cool pantry? This is a little protector, so you can take this out when you're not using it, and then pull this button open, and then out slides the pantry. It's awesome. There are little lights all around. Just keep in mind, you could run down the battery after a day or so if you have everything on. Otherwise, if you crank the diesel, it'll charge up again or plug it in. The fan, really, gotta just pay attention to this one. Right there, it says push auto or pull manual. I leave it in the pull manual position. You never have to put it in auto. That way you don't have to worry about the complexities. Right now, it's in the out position, meaning this fan will suck the hot air out. Take this handle here, open her up, and as you open, turn this into the position that you want for the 1, 2, or 3. Right there. Turn it off if you want, and just let it breathe. Don't drive with that thing open. When you're done, shut her back. You don't have to worry about any of the other settings on here. Shop vac, that charges when you're plugged into shore power. Nice freezer fridge. There's a little ice cube compartment. Here is your setting. I put it on to about 4 most of the time, and that will keep your ice cold in most conditions. But remember, after a day or so, maybe 2 days, maybe a day and a half, this thing will run your RV batteries down. Fortunately, they're not attached to your cranking batteries. Back here in the potty. Potty works by depressing the foot pedal all the way down. That flushes it. Then if you just hold your foot halfway down, you'll hear it pumping some more water in there. I like to keep some water in like this. I always keep special RV toilet paper. Usually there'll be enough in here. If you run out of some and you have to use regular toilet paper, please throw it away in a bag. Here's your shower. Shower works great, works like normal as well. You don't have a lot of water in here, so you have to be careful. You would use up all your water, but you turn on the knob like normal, pull this handle out, that'll create enough pressure and the shower will come out of the shower head. Speaking of the water system, I've got this couch opened up here so you can see the water system. There's the knob. The knob says close when it's pointed that way, and fill if it's pointed this way. So whenever you're ready to fill it up, you literally just turn it into the fill position, hook up the water outside, which I'll show you in a second, and then just let the water pump up until you can see the level on the side there actually get up to about the top. When you're done, put it back into the closed position. You do not need the water pump on to do that. It's just straight gravity. Hey, while we're here looking at the couch, it's a normal couch, but to make it into a bed, just pull it out like this and do the same thing on the opposite side and you have a queen size bed. If you want to make it again, the hardest part is this part down here. If you can make sure that this little guy gets slid to about that point and then you pull it out, it'll pop right down into place and look like that. I do have an inverter here, which you can use. Just plug it in here, turn on the switch, and you'll be able to plug things in. Some things will overload it, so this is good for like laptops and iPhones and things like that. But anything big, it won't run. If you want to run the Christmas lights inside or the fairy lights, you just plug that guy in and it will actually turn on the little twinkle lights. It's nice for ambiance. Okay, an important thing. All these windows open like normal, but one thing you have to pay attention to, these on this side. If you open this thing and then open the door on the outside, that door will literally hit this and knock it off its hinges and break. My recommendation is don't open these on this side unless you remember to close them first. I just barely crack them so I don't forget. But basically, if you open the outside door, you will break those windows if they're open too far. So remember that. Lots of storage in here, of course. I think that's the major systems on the inside. Let's go outside.